Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'll take the next couple of minutes to introduce you to the company and hopefully expose the potential of the investment that Osisko Metals presents. Our standard forward-looking statement. Why invest in Osisko Metals? We own two of the best Canadian zinc camps in Canada right now, the Pine Point Mining Camp and the Bathurst Mining Camp. We have advanced projects with tremendous blue sky opportunity, which I'll give a bit more explanation within the presentation. Our Pine Point project, in mid-December this year, we announced our MRE. We have an inferred resource of 38.4 million tons, grading approximately 6.6% zinc equivalent. That's approximately 3.9 billion pounds of zinc and 1.6 billion pounds of lead. The property has never been properly explored for the last 20 years. We're going to be using some new techniques that I'll describe later on in the presentation. Our Bathurst mining camp, our key project there is the Kianicon project. It's been privately held for the last 70 years from the Irving family. We acquired that in December 2017. Tremendous upside potential on this property. We published our first mineral resource last month. There's a lot more potential to that property as we see later on in the presentation. Right now, we have the ability, or we've had the ability to redefine the geological structure in the Bathurst camp. We've managed to identify the Brunswick Horizon for another 30 some odd kilometers, which runs through our property. We have a solid balance sheet right now. We have no debt, $17 million in the treasury, solid reputation. We have an excellent technical expertise team that backs us. We have access to the Osisko group. The projects are located in friendly mining jurisdictions. The Bathurst mining camp is in New Brunswick. Pine Point camp located just north of Alberta in Northwest Territories. We have an excellent executive team with a board that has a proven track record. I draw your attention to the right of the screen here. Mr. Robert Wares and John Brzezinski, instrumental in the discovery of Canadian Malartic. Canadian Malartic was a world-class gold discovery, 13 million ounces of gold. John Brzezinski is the president and CEO of Osisko Mining. Luc Lasalle, he's presently on his 12th mine bill. Amy Satoff, Kathy Sringer, both legal experience with Dundee Securities, and Claude Charon, who is a tax expert working out of Montreal for the last 25 years. Our share capital right now, we're trading at a 52-week low. I think Friday we closed at 54 cents. We have 136 million shares outstanding, but I want to draw your attention to the significant shareholders that we have in the company. Osisko Gold Royalties and Osisko Mining own a combined ownership of a little over 19%. JP Morgan out of the UK owns almost 7%. We have Renvest that holds 6%. Zebra Holdings is a private holding company from Lucas Lundin. And we have also BlackRock, Caisse de Dépôt, and the management that holds almost 12%. So 52% holding out of 136 is a pretty solid shareholders. We have a couple analysts right now that are covering us, Paradigm, Canaccord, and Macquarie. We expect a couple other analysts following us. We did the analyst tour in late fall last year. Now that we publish our resource, we expect at least one or two more analysts coverage. Supply crunch. Everybody's familiar with the commodity price of the zinc. What we've seen in the last couple of years, we've seen demand outstrip capacity for the last 6 years. What we see here on the chart in the blue and the red is the LME and the Shanghai inventories. And what we've noticed in the last 6 years, there's been a chronic depletion in those inventories. And the basic reason why is because there hasn't been any new mines coming online. And several of the existing mines have closed since then. So the critical level right now for the zinc supply is about 300,000 tons, which equates to about 10-day supply. As of Friday, I believe that level has dropped down to about 174,000 tons, which is about 6 days supply of zinc. So right now we're in a great position as a company. We've foreseen this for like last 4 years, why we want to position ourselves in the zinc market. And we're hoping that we're going to be able to benefit from the commodity price itself. Pine Point project, as I mentioned earlier before, we have 38.4 million tons grading approximately 6.6% zinc equivalent, which equates to about 5.5 billion pounds of metal in the ground. The Pipeline project has excellent infrastructure. It was a past producer from Caminco for 20 years, from 1964 to 1988. So there's access to hydro there, electrical substation. There's access to railhead, which is Hay River, about 50 kilometers to the west of us. There's a paved road that goes right straight through the property, and there's over 100 kilometers of haul roads, 25 meters wide. If we were to rebuild the infrastructure, like my colleague mentioned earlier before, it would cost us over in excess of about $200 million. So it's a great advantage for us to have this there. Pine Point produced a premier concentrate when Caminco was using it. We're presently doing our metallurgy tests right now. We expect that to come out within the next couple of months. The metallurgy is exceptional, very low impurities in it, low silica, low iron. We would probably get a premium for the concentrate. The project would be a high margin project because it's an open pit project. We've conducted all our holes that we've drilled so far. We've drilled over 60,000 meters since we acquired this property in February last year. None of the holes are any deeper than 75 meters. But the nice thing about this project, it has a district scale exploration upside on it. Hasn't been explored in the last 20 years. We're going to be using some new techniques going forward on this for Q2. This gives you an idea of the size of the property. We're focusing on 5 areas specifically. The main zone, the main concentration of mineralization is in 3 zones: the North Zone, Central Zone, and the East Mill Zone. These 3 zones contains 23 million tons of the 38 that we just mentioned. But the size of this property is tremendous. It's 60 kilometers long by 30 kilometers wide. And this is where we're going to have the ability to do some upside exploration this year. We're going to be flying an airborne survey combined with a LiDAR. We're going to do a gravity survey combined with a LiDAR, which will eventually identify additional mineralization. This is a crosscut of the geology right now. So where the mineralization lies is basically in these tabular deposits and these prismatic deposits. So because of our drilling hasn't been any deeper than 75 meters, we know that the mineralization right now occurs between, or the favorable horizon goes right down to 200 to 300 meters. So these deposits are basically blind below 100 meters. So by flying the gravity survey and with the LiDAR survey, we'll be able to identify additional potential mineralization at depth. Pine Point's unique as an open pit project. We estimate, because of the grade of the mineralization there at 6.6%, it would be the equivalent of mining an open pit copper mine at the 2.5% copper, or an open pit gold mine at 3 grams gold ton. The zinc mining is unique within the metal sector. 90% of the gold production is open pit. 95% of the copper production is open pit. 90% of the zinc production is underground. That's why Pine Point is unique for us. This just gives you a quick idea. We've compared our concentrate to a couple of our peers or a couple of the other producers, Antamina, MacArthur, Mount Isa. And what we see here is that Pine Point produces a concentrate way below any penalty level. The next couple of slides, I'll touch on the Bathurst. We control about 63,000 hectares in the Bathurst mining camp. It's the 3rd largest VMS in the world right now. It's produced Brunswick number 12, number 6, produced over 150 million tons. That's about 12% zinc equivalent. Our key flagship there is Kianakon. We just came out with a mineral resource right now and indicated about 1.9 million tons and inferred about almost 4 million tons. The Kianakon project remains open at depth and on strike. There's 2 main zones, the main zone of Kianakon and the Titan zone. Both these areas are separated by 1.5 kilometers, and the distance, the area in between these 2 zones has never been tested. This gives you an idea of our footprint. At Bathurst Mining Camp, our main flagship is to the right of the slide here, which is Kianakon. And what we've interpreted right now, the red line that goes through Brunswick number 12 and number 6, is basically the Brunswick belt horizon, and that we discovered that it turns around, goes back up towards the Kianakon project. So it's an area about 30 kilometers that has been never tested that we're going to be working on this year. Just to highlight some of the work that we've done there at Kianakon, it's a project that's been mothballed for 70 years from the Irving family. There's been a significant development there in the 50s where they had sunk a shaft, 8 different levels. So this year we went in and then we drilled the heart of the project where we got some fantastic results, 12% zinc over 20 meters, another 12.08% zinc over 46 meters. But what's nice about this is that we've done a couple of holes at depth where we got some fantastic and encouraging results, and also on strike. So right now, it's open at depth and open at strike, and we'll continue to explore this this year. The Titan zone, which is 1.5 kilometers to the northwest, also had some historical drilling there. We went back in, confirmed the historical drilling, got some fantastic intercepts there also, and now we've managed to extend this mineralization at depth to over 1,100 meters. But what we're encountering here at Titan zone is that there's a huge copper content. There's a huge copper zone that we believe is the Sringer copper feeder zone that's producing this mineralization. We haven't tested this copper zone yet. This is, oh, excuse me, I'll just skip to the next one. This is a zone, this is a cross-section that we're looking at that just defines the copper content in that zone. We're seeing some fantastic results, almost 3% copper over 4.7 meters. We're looking at 1.1% copper over 16 meters. So really, really high copper content here that we want to follow up this year. Just to finish up, some of our milestones for 2019. I think I mentioned before, we're going to do an airborne gravity survey combined with a LiDAR, which is going to provide new targets for the Pine Point project, hopefully at depth and on strike. We're looking to add a little bit more property to the land package there, and our goal for 2019 is to add at least 10 to 20 million tons to the existing resource. Kianakon, we're looking to expand the extensions of the mineralized zones, both at the main zone and at the Titan zone. We're going to do also an airborne gravity survey there. We're going to follow up with an exploration drilling program. We also have a portfolio of Quebec Gen X properties that we're going to be spending a little over $10 million on this year. These are basically just grassroots properties. We're hoping to advance them to brown. We're looking also to apply to the TSX by Q3 of this year. We already have an application in for the US listing. That should be, we should have a listing by probably within the next 3 weeks. We're well capitalized for the exploration program for this year, and we're looking forward to actually having our underlying asset value reflected in our equity price. Thank you.